to Bears TV. I'm here with Redcar Bears number 4, Jordan Stewart. Jordan, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good.
Looking forward to getting some racing in finally.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time out, but we've been pretty lucky in Aussie. We've probably been the luckiest country really with racing. We haven't had, obviously we didn't have the Australian titles and all that, but we had a lot more than what you guys had over here anyway.
All right, that does bring me on nicely. One of the questions we had from our fans. Stuart Bell asked, apart from the heat you have in Australia, obviously we don't have it here, what is the main differences between riding in England and riding in Australia?
Well, in Australia, it's pretty much all of it is individual. So you're out there for yourself. But we've been pretty lucky the last, you could probably say the last year and a half. Craig Boyce has actually started up a few teams meetings just to sort of get the next generation sort of understand what it's all about over here and, just practice a bit of team riding. But yeah, that's really the only difference is that really. And obviously the competition out there, it's different. It's obviously most of it is Australian riders. And yeah, that's about it really. Track wise, it's all pretty good. We have like our tracks are the biggest, but they're not the smallest neither. So they're pretty nice tracks and well prepared. And apart from the team side of things and the individual side of things, it's pretty much the same.
What have you been doing since you got over into the United Kingdom?
I've only been here for 2 weeks now. I had to do quarantine, so I done 6 days quarantine, and just getting organised really. Getting my van sorted, and I've moved houses this year because I was renting a house out with Jake Allen and Zach Cook in 2020, and I've moved house this year. I'm living with Ricky Wells. So just getting settled in there and getting my bike sorted. And, the last 2 weeks has gone pretty quick, especially when I had to quarantine for a week and stuff. But just getting everything organised for a big year.
Was the quarantine as boring as it sounds?
It was because I'm pretty full on. I can't sit still for long. It was all right. It wasn't too bad. I got my bikes dropped off to me and I was just cruising around on them for a couple of days. And had the option to get out in 6 days, but you have to pay extra money. It's normally 10 days. But money and got out in 6 days so I could stop myself from going insane. But no, it wasn't too bad. It was all right. Done. Just got everything sorted that had to be done, and yeah, it was right.
Hopefully by the time you go back, hopefully you won't have to do that the other side.
Well, yeah, that's the next thing. The 2 week in the motel was just pretty bad, but yeah, there's talk that hopefully they might get rid of that in the upcoming months if we get the vaccine, and have to see what happens, I suppose. But worry about that when the time comes.
Yes, right. Now on to Speedway while we're all here. Did you ever fear that you, as of last year, you wouldn't ride in 2021 in this country?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was having thoughts that I couldn't see much happening. I'm not going to lie. But I kept in contact with a lot of people over here, and like all my promoters and all that. And yous were, to be honest, the UK was probably the best country going, and with the vaccine and all that, yous were 2 steps ahead of everyone. I just found it very unrealistic that international flights were going to be happening. And then as we, sort of got sorted and started looking into it a bit more, it all looked pretty realistic. And it was hard and to know what was happening. And, when the season got delayed to the May, when's the start date? May 17th. Yeah, when it got delayed till then, I thought, oh, here we go, might go on for a bit longer. But it seems now I'm here and, it seems pretty good, and it looks like it's going to go ahead, which is good.
Well, there's a first meeting tomorrow, behind closed doors meeting, which hopefully goes well. But I think from May the 17th, fans are going to be allowed back in, which sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the new Rising Star system that's been implemented in this country?
I think it's good. I think it's good for the up and comers. Really, it's gives them all the good chance, and it's a good thing. In my eyes, it's it's there's always been a bit of a thing about internationals coming over and taking their rides and all that, and now's their time to step up and give it a good crack, and they can't ask for a better thing, really. In my eyes, it's good. It's good.
On the other hand, do you feel if this system was in place when you first came over, would you have got your chance with Redcar or any other club? Do you think it would have been obviously would have been a lot harder? Do you think you would have got your chance?
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It's in my eyes over here at the moment. There's a big, shortage of riders, and I don't know. It's gone down a lot since, and especially now with COVID. It's a lot of the, all the Danes and the Polish and all that. They're not going to be able to fly in and fly out like the old days, you can call it. But it probably would have had a bit of effect on me or on most of us coming over, because we obviously come in on a pretty low average and slot straight into reserve. But yeah, don't know. I'm here
now. Definitely. Do you feel this is the breakout year for Jordan Stewart?
Hope so. It's my third season now. Obviously I'm doubling up, and it's I've been to pretty much all of the tracks, and it's got to be. I'm at that point where you've only got a short window in Speedway, and I'm 22, and you just got to throw everything at it, and this is the year. I need to make it this year, and as long as I'm sort of progressing every year and every meeting, really, that's the main thing.
On the subject of progression, we've had Glyn Duncan here ask, do you think you can make the heat leader position this year for Redcar?
I think so, yeah. Definitely. Just go out there and try your hardest in every race and see where you end up. But that's the plan. Take the number one from Charles.
On the subject of heat leaders, if you did go a heat leader, you wouldn't be able to win heat 14, though. That's the only negative.
Yeah. That's me specialist. That's me guaranteed 3 points every week.
Even when you're having a shocker, put him out 14, you'll win.
That's my territory.
How do you feel about the Redcar Bears Media Prima Arena track not having any home track advantage like other tracks do? How do you feel about that personally?
Well, personally, I love rocking up there every week and riding it. It's I don't know. There is a little bit like, I don't know. We know the setups and the lines and all that, but it's I don't know. I just like rocking up to a track every Friday night and know you're racing on a good track, well prepared. And we've had a good team last year. 2 years ago, we had a really good team, and it was just nice rocking up there. And it's, I don't know. It's once you get dialed in around there, it's nice. And like you said, a lot of the away riders can rock up and ride it easily, but most of us go to tracks like Edinburgh and Newcastle and all that, and it takes us a couple of rides to get into it, which they're all dialed in. But I don't know. I still love rocking up and riding on a well prepared track than riding on a crap track.
On the subject of that, obviously finances and other things are very important, but signing for a team that the track's going to be well prepared every week, how important is that to you?
Very important. But it's rider safety at the end of it, isn't it? No one wants to go out there and hurt themselves or, due to it not being their fault. And we're very lucky at Redcar. We are, like Jitendra and Jade, they're just as concerned as us when it comes to the track. And our track guys, like obviously we had Terry 2 years ago, and this year we've got Jono Swale, and Jono's, and a really good ex-rider, and he knows what it's all about. And, and since I've been there, I've only been there since 2018, but Terry, you could go up to Terry and talk to him about the track and he would listen. But you go to a lot of the track operators and they don't want to know about it, and that's at the end of the day, us 7 are the ones, or 14 are the ones riding on it. So
yes, I would definitely agree with that. What are your thoughts on, obviously we couldn't keep the same 7 together, but what are your thoughts on our 2 new signings, James Sargent and Anders Rowe?
good. We're always going to have a good reserve. Whether Sarge drops down or any of us drop down, it's going to be good. It's a really good team. When you look at it on paper, we're probably nearly one of the strongest really at the moment. It's going to be a good year. And Anders is obviously going to have a good year, doubling up with Ipswich as well, same as me, and he's going to be firing and have a lot of confidence, and so it'll be good. And
with still one rider to come, the rider you'll be directly challenging for that number 3 spot, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, wait and see who it is.
What time will tell. Right, we've had a question in from Steve, mate, a bit of a controversial one. Who's your favourite teammate at Redcar?
Not Charles. Probably like to ride with, or
yeah, let's go to ride with. We don't want to upset anybody.
Probably Tofty, to be honest. Michael Palm Toft. He's good because he just rides the one line all the time, and I can get loose. But no, Tofty's really good to ride with, and he's, he does just make starts and sort of makes it work on the pole line, and off he goes. And I'll get along good with Tofty. He's really good. If I'm slow, he tells me I'm slow, and if he's slow, I tell him I'm slow. But I rode with Charles once. It was 2019 at home against Birmingham, and I hated it. It was the worst. We both ride the same one, and I was nearly running to him, and he was wiping me out because I was obviously road blocking him. But Tofty's probably my favourite. He's makes the gates and literally just sits on the curb or sits on the right line and cruises around, and you just follow him or go wider. He's good.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Obviously, you love using the outside, and Charles likes brushing past that air fence every time.
Charles has got no brains.
We have had a question in from a guy called Charles, right? I think he's a speedway rider. He asked what your favourite drink is.
Water.
Water? Very nice.
No. Shiraz. I love it.
Oh, God. Right, we also had a question from a certain Jason Stewart. As Jason asked, are you as good as your dad?
No. Team Tower. No, my old man, he was a good rider. He like back out in Australia, he's done a lot of long track titles, and he hasn't won much, but he's come a lot of seconds. But he did have the opportunity to come over here in 2000 and 1998, because I was born in 1998, and he signed a contract with, it was Newport. Oh, yeah. And he was coming, and Mum was pregnant with me at the time, and he didn't end up coming over. But yeah, he was a good rider back in his day, but his days are over now.
I'm sure he'll watch this. So, how much riding did you do back in Australia your summer, our winter, and how did it go personally for you?
I didn't do as much as what we normally would, and as much as I would like. To be honest, it didn't really go that well. We didn't have that many meetings, and not usually like we do. Like I said earlier, we had no Aussie titles and stuff like that. But it was still bike time. It was good. Any bike time's good time. I was trying a couple of new engines out there, and they weren't working, and just practicing, but it was good. It was good, and at least I've done some sort of bike time and got my head around it again. And but yeah, the Aussie titles is always good. We do about 5 meetings in the space of 10 days. 5 five or six different tracks, and it's good. That's usually it. And they're like the middle of January, so we do them, and then have them, practice for a bit afterwards, and then have 2 or 3 weeks off, get organised to come back over here, and then in a normal world we're over here for a week, and then we're back into it. So, and I think that's why Aussies tend to come over here, start of March and go, get straight into it and bounce really good and get going, because we've always got plenty of bike time compared to you guys over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said before, all in all, we didn't do much, and but we still done enough.
Give you a bit of a head start over the rest.
That's right, yeah. But this year's going to be good. It's going to be a good test because everyone's pretty much had a year and a half out, and everyone's leveled out in the same boat, been pretty bored, been pretty hungry to get back into it. And I think the first couple of meetings, everyone's going to be firing.
How do you feel about the other teams in the league? Who do you think are the closest challengers to Redcar?
Probably Leicester and Eastbourne. Looking at them on paper, they're probably the two top. They're probably the other ones firing, but our team looks good. It does look good all the way through. It looks pretty solid, but Leicester, they've got a pretty good, strong top 5 as well. But I think our reserves are better, a little bit better than theirs. But yeah, it can all look good on paper, but at the end of the day, it's up to the jockeys, isn't it? So.
Yes. Well, time will tell. Speedway is definitely not raced on paper.
That's
so,
right.
A couple of fans did ask whether you managed to fit Jake Allen in your suitcase.
No, I didn't. No, he's working. He's working.
Do you feel that, obviously you said Redcar think you have a good chance, do you feel that your new team, your Ipswich Witches, have a good chance in the Premiership?
Yeah, of course. They're strong all the way through as well. With the likes of Crumpy, obviously, you can't get much better guidance than that. And, love him or hate him, he's a 3-time world champion, and he knows what he doesn't know about speedway isn't worth knowing. And he's fully committed. Like when he retired, he went back to Aussie and just sort of done a bit of riding for fun. Just rocked up and cruised around and still got into it good. And the last year or two, he's been pretty serious, wanting to come back over here and race. And he's dropped a lot of weight, got some good engines. He's ready to go. And I think, a lot of people are sort of doubting him, like, oh, he might struggle at number 1, but I don't think he will. As soon as, you'll do a few meetings and get into it, and he'll be fine. And, with the likes of, who else is there? Like Danny King and Nikolai Clint, like you just got to see Nikolai scores in Poland and Denmark at the moment. Like he's on fire. In the same, Danny hasn't rode yet, but he's pretty familiar with Ipswich and all the other tracks. And I think we'll be fine as well. We'll be good.
Were you worried about a Premiership place when the Swindon Robins decided not to ride this year?
A little bit, to be honest. I was. I found out a day or 2 days before they actually announced it. Roscoe just messaged me and said, we're not running this year. And I sort of called him and he explained the situation to me. And I was a little bit worried. And then Jake obviously withdrew from England this year. So then Chris Louis contacted me straight away. But I did have one more offer after that, after Swindon pulled the pin. And then I was sort of just, hanging on, cruising around, seeing what was happening. And then Ipswich come on board and then was talking to them and obviously went with Ipswich. And, who knows what would have happened at Swindon. I was looking forward to going there with, the likes of Doyley and Batch and, 2 familiar faces. It would have been good. And, but, Ipswich is a new challenge and be a good track. I've only rode there once and it was a pretty tricky track to ride, but back talking about, home track advantages, I think this will be a good one because a lot of riders sort of psych themselves out before they get there. And if you get it dialed in, then it's sort of guaranteed points every meeting, isn't it?
Definitely. Will it, do you think riding in the same team as Jason Crump will help you improve as a rider?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And I think he's starting at number 1 and I'll be at number 2 as well. I think so. I'll be with him, 3 of me rides. And I reckon not just improve me as a rider, but improve, everyone else as well. Like, he knows a lot. He's really good to listen to. And when he talks to you, you just listen to it and take it all in. He's very switched on. And yeah, I am looking forward to riding with him and just sort of seeing how it goes. But yeah.
Sounds good. Just to finish off, have you got any message for the Bears fans that will be surely tuning into this?
No, just, yeah. Hopefully in the upcoming weeks, you can get there and watch us May 17th if Boris lets it. But no, it's going to be a good year. And hopefully we can go one better this year than 2 years ago, the Knockout Cup. And I think this year was the team that is planned to be happening. It's, where, in my eyes, I think we're the favourites. So just, keep in there and you'll be fine.
Right. Thanks very much, Jordy, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for watching on Bears TV. Thank you and goodbye.